what's up everybody? This is your favorite homeboy and welcome to another episode of Behind the Scenes of our property management company. If you want to know what goes on behind the scenes of a management company that operates in 4 different states, manages over 350 properties, check out this video. It's just a typical day, doing typical admin stuff. We're doing our monthly luncheon. We're having our last week with our intern, Maddie, and we're gonna be also giving some advice to one of our owners. So if you own real estate in today's hot market, you thought about selling, whether you should sell or whether you should keep the home, listen in to the rest of this video. I think you might find that interesting. But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to this video, please hit the subscribe button below. It really helps us out a lot as we're a growing channel. And hit the like button if you like content like this. All right, so let's get right into it. Okay, I want to suggest let's call them first, because if you're able to get a hold of someone and they actually know what they're talking about, they should be able to shortchange this process for you and be like, hey, yeah, guest parking instructions are this, and no, we don't have this, or no, we don't have that. So this is the last week for our intern, Maddie. She's been great helping us out here for a couple months now, and one of the things we've had her focus on was really just making sure we have all of our data in our software good and complete. And one of the things that we're really trying to shore up is the data for our HOAs. HOAs are just, every HOA is different. They ask for different information for the tenants. They may require you to put a lock box, or they may not require a sign. Some allow you to put a sign. So every rule is different. And so our job is really just to go through and capture all that information. So I'm just helping Maddie, just trying to make some progress in her last week here, and then so we can have a proper handoff to the next person. So let's go to this first, okay, and then that last. And then also, like, I don't know, have you found any properties that actually don't have documents? Is that what you said?
No, they all have documents, just not helpful ones in this
Okay.
case.
And then you can also like to say, hey, just want to make sure I have all the right HOA documents. You have something like that in a PDF format.
Right.
And then you can just have them email it to us too, just in case we're missing something. And then you can compare it with what we have, and if it's the same thing, just trash it. Yeah. But if it's something new, we can add to it. So I like to call and email them as like a first option. Okay. And then let's see if that helps any. Okay.
The other thing that I've been running into is that the numbers aren't like what they say they are. So like, I haven't tried this one yet, but in this case, like, it would be like Community Management Corporation. And in some of the pages, like this, like the number that's associated with it is like completely wrong. Okay. Or they're like, we have never managed this before.
Sometimes you have to do some sleuthing. Like what I would do is I would Google point at Park Center, or I would Google Community Management Corporation, and then as you scroll up, I'd say like, wait, let me scroll up here more, all the way to the building. Yeah, point at Park Center condo. So sometimes you do have to do a little bit of like Googling to figure out. Unfortunately, that's what I do. And then I would try to, sometimes I hit the wrong one, but then you can find, oh, this one's in Virginia, that's probably the right one. So try that too, because that really does help a lot.
You think it's okay, and that he could just bring Edward in when he on things that require a license?
Maybe I would want to get Edward's perspective of it.
Well, then maybe that's a call for you, me, and Edward to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. And too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Yeah.
Okay, Texas leases, alphabetized, starting with portfolio, A?
Yep.
Okay, I see it, William Byer. So you're calling walk me through what you're doing. You're calling the tenant, then calling the owner?
Send a follow-up email, but of course, if they need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me, Valerie, call anytime, we're here for you.
Okay.
And then I send the follow-up email.
So about every couple of weeks, I like to get together with Candy. Candy's our newest property manager in Texas, also serving as my business development mastermind. So me and her, we make lots of calls. And so I like to kind of get on a Zoom and just review what our strategy is for business development. So right now what we're trying to do is two things. We're calling tenants, because it's always good to check in on them, see how they're doing, see if there's any concerns, just be proactive about that. But what we're also doing is right after we call the tenants, we call the owners, so we can let the owner know what's going on. Hey, do you have any issues? And also be proactive with their portfolio needs. One of the things is we want to provide more than just property management services, but we want to help them grow their real estate portfolio. So I'm giving suggestions to Candy, listening for feedback, and I like to just get an update every few weeks with her. So that's kind of what I'm doing with her on this Zoom call. Can I make a suggestion? When you leave a message and when you call them, you're introducing yourself, good point. You're asking if they need a portfolio review, good point. If you get a hold of them and all things are hunky-dory and you notice they haven't given us a testimonial, ask them if they would mind writing a testimonial. That'd be an awesome opportunity to increase our reviews. So you can send them a review, right? And then the next thing is always leave them with, if you know anyone else who needs property management, please keep us in mind. We'd love to be able to help, and we love referrals. So let's leave that too. I got a guy calling from Texas who might be selling. Man.
Giving off is that being investor referral.
No way. Awesome. Hold on, let me get this real quick.
Yeah.
Hey George, it's Edward.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, I'm actually on the phone on a Skype meeting right now.
No worries then.
Real quick then, let's talk really quick. I sent you an email on the market analysis for your home. I don't know if you've been in the office all day. I'm not sure you've had a chance to check that.
That's what I thought the values were going up, and I didn't know how hot that market is right now. I hear people are like competing for real estate, and lots of money's coming in. So I'm trying to evaluate whether it'd be better to sell a property.
So this happens all the time. I get a call from a seller, or actually a client, who's thinking about selling because their house value just went bonkers. And so in the case with my client here, George, in the Austin market, his house went bonkers. It's going up in value, and he's trying to figure out if he should sell. And this is the conversation I'm having with a lot of my clients, whether it's in the Northern Virginia market or the Austin, Texas market. And so I'm just talking with George, consulting with him, and usually the advice I give is keep your home, leverage your money unless you're having better returns somewhere else, and pull money out and do what you were going to do with it anyways if you were going to sell. So most of the times you can accomplish your goal. Instead of selling, just pull your money out through a cash out refi. So that's the strategy I'm going to give George. And right now, I'm working with George to identify new properties, and he's looking at cash out refining. So listen to this conversation and see if you can relate.
Property and like triple the amount that I spent on it, because I only bought the house for like 122. You're saying it's
right.
0.5
Is it paid off, George, or do you have like
no?
Leverage?
There's still a loan on it
Okay.
for 77.
Okay.
So that's all I was saying. I'm getting letters from the
Right.
bank saying
Right.
am I interested in refinancing? The interest rates have gone down.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to just run some numbers now, and it's really helped me with what you sent over.
Oh, good. You saw
I guess
that. Okay.
Yes. My next step is, I guess, to talk with them and find out, refinancing, what numbers that they would come up with, and
Right.
then try and
Right.
decide which direction to go on that.
Right.
As long as it's still cash flowing and I can get some equity out of it, then I can get some capital, maybe go acquire something else.
I love the idea. I love the way you're thinking. The key point here, George, is leverage. Making sure you're leveraged and not over leveraged. And as long as you can pull out some money and still have it cash flow, and then use that money to go to work for you, and so your house has like a little baby, so you have a second generation house, then that's what I like to say is like your house has babies, because as the equity's getting paid down and the value's going up, you pull that money out and get another house, right? And then just leverage the work of another tenant, leverage our work to put someone in there, take care of it. That's definitely the way I would go. I always discourage people from selling, because when you do that, it's like owning a piece of Manhattan real estate. You always want to keep that in your portfolio and use that as your personal bank. and let the appreciation work for you, let the principal pay down work for you. Does that make sense?
Right, but my one question for you, and I know I don't want to take up your time, is that what do you think the market's going to be doing? I know that's the impossible question, but that's what I'm trying to avoid is becoming over leveraged. I don't want to take out like 75% to value you know, equity off of this thing, and then the values go down and I'm upside down on.
Well, here's the key thing is the rents. As long as the rents don't go down and it's covering your principal payments, which are fixed for 15 to 30 years, then you're fine. And rents rarely go down. I mean, they may stabilize, they may go down a little bit because it's a competitive market. But as long as you have enough margin in there where you're not like every penny is not being covered by, you know, I would make sure you have margin where every month you're making maybe $200 a month. So that you kind of set that aside to kind of build up your reserves. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And you, I mean, especially since you're a high income earner as a physician, you want to have that tax write-off too. So that's really helpful to have that write-off for you.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, that would be my advice. I know you talked about like leveling up to like a multi-family or something, but what I would recommend is pulling out money, doing a cash out refi, something like that, and then using that to buy another investment. And we can help you with that. If you have an agent already, we'd be happy to work with them, you know, to come up with the right numbers for you for that too.
All right, so you'd be willing to represent me if I found a property and wanted to purchase it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can help you with that too.
Okay. Even if it's in a different market?
Oh yeah.
Like going up to Waco or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know if, have you met Candy? Candy,
No.
Okay, so Candy's is our other property manager there besides Valerie, and we just opened up the Temple Waco market. Yeah, so we just opened up the Temple Waco market, which is about 20 to 30 minutes north of Georgetown. So the reason why we think that's an exciting market is because a lot of the values in close into the cities in Austin are just going up so much. And so now the deals are kind of like on the outskirts of Austin. And you see that in any big city, you know, when things get too expensive inside of the core of the city, people start going out into the suburbs or the suburbs of the suburbs. And so Temple Waco is just further out from Austin, but you still can find good value. So we're actually looking for investment properties for this client in the Temple Waco area. If you know of any, let us know. We do manage pretty wide area in the Temple Waco market of Austin, and even like for the DC areas, we not just manage in the DC, Montgomery, Fairfax County markets, but we also manage kind of a little further out like the Prince William County or the Loudoun County area as well. So we can manage in that area. We just did that like a month ago.
Oh, fantastic, because my daughter's at school at Baylor, and I got another one that's going to go to Baylor, so that's why I'm looking for.
Awesome. Go Baylor Bears.
Also multifamily. Yeah, there you go. All right, well, I know you're busy, but thanks for giving me that advice, and I'll get back with you soon.
Sounds good. We'll be in touch. Thanks, George.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, the reason why we're doing this lunch is our monthly meeting, and because Maddie's last week here, and just want to say thank you, Maddie, for helping us out this summer, and hope it's been a good internship for you.
It has been. It's been a really good learning experience. I'd be interested in what you learned.
What would you say?
Pretty much everything.
What would you say was anything surprising about what you learned?
I mean, I wouldn't really say that I was surprised by anything. Just like a lot of things I just didn't know. Like all of the like inner workings of, you know, how to like get a tenant and, you know, keep up with them and all of that.
Yeah.
That was the end of my sentence. Sorry.
Would you, if you were to pick one thing that you could do for the next 5 years, what would it be?
To be honest,
That you like enough.
not real estate.
That would be a successful internship. Seriously. Because if an internship helps you decide not to do something, it's successful. Because I know a lot of people who go to school and they do all this schooling and then they don't like it. And then it's like, well, just do an internship, you could have figured it out.
I started off in accounting when I first went to college, and for about a year and a half, I was gonna be a CPA, and then I did an internship over the tax season at a accountant's office.
Yeah.
And I was like, there is no way I could do this for a living. You're just sitting. I was so extroverted, and to be just so like embedded in numbers and tallying numbers and dealing with numbers all the time. I was like, this has got to be the most boring shit. So I changed my major.
Good for you. Did you do an internship or anything? I've never done an internship. Actually, I did. I wanted to be a doctor, so I volunteered at an ER.
Doctor of just
doctor.
an MD.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually went to Chinese. It's like half the population. Like, you want to be a doctor, right?
A doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah. So.
Your choices.
When I got my ROTC scholarship, it was to be a doctor in the military. So that's how what they approved me to be a doctor.
What kind? ENT?
I'm just a doctor. I don't know. I mean,
Well, you decide after. I guess after you get in, you decide.
I had to get into med school first.
Right.
That's challenge number one. And so as I was doing the science courses and all that, I was like, oh man, this is rough, right? Like getting C's and B
Were you
minuses.
interested in it though? That's probably.
And then like as I'm doing the science courses, I was like, this wasn't for me. And my friend would explain, he would do this, like I'm hitting a wall. This is analogy. So this is the concept, brilliant concept, Dave Chen, this is for you if you're watching this video, that my friend told me about when I was in college. So glad I didn't go into the medical field or anything in the sciences because it's definitely not for me. But this intern program was really just for people like me, for people like anyone who are trying to figure out what to do. And this worked out great. I met Maddie at church. She was my boss at the coffee shop, and she was just telling me, hey, she liked real estate. And so I was like, hey, well, we can have an intern position and give you a little bit of exposure, see if you like it, and at the same time, we can get some help. So we didn't have a formal program, and we didn't go formally looking for a summer intern, it just kind of happened, but we may try to do this again next year because it was a win-win for both of us. And so internship programs are great. And we were able to do this luncheon and just kind of talk, let our hair down and get to know one another. We do this every month just because we're a work from home company. We do try to have some fun things to do once a month, get some FaceTime. We do that in Texas and we do that here in Virginia. And why not get some good Vietnamese food out of it too? Okay. Ooh, you like hot, spicy.
I did an internship myself.
For what?
I interned at Discovery Studios. I worked on 2 or 3 TV shows there, and I loved it. And I want to keep going, but it is super competitive. But I later worked on some more Discovery Channel shows through another post-production facility in Bethesda and Maryland.
I mean, I did not like it. I did medical emergency response team on campus. I'd help all the drunk people. And then I did I volunteered at an emergency room, and I liked it. But the schooling and then the studying and the technical stuff was a little bit above my head. So when it comes to business concepts and business, it's like that I can study and I can put it into practice. So what did it do for you?
I really loved doing the playroom at that one house in the Poconos.
5 minutes out of your summer. No.
To be fair, that was a couple of days.
Okay. She enjoyed a couple of days out of her summer.
No, I mean, I enjoyed all of it, but I think
enjoyed that the most.
I enjoyed that the most. That was, I think, the highlight for me.
I mean, that is real estate, but it's probably more like
You know it's done.
interior.
So it should remind you to replace the filters on a monthly basis, and they should arrive no later than 60 days after you move in. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Any questions?
So the last thing we were able to do for that day was a lease review, and everything is remote in our company. Everything is paperless. We all work from home. So even our lease reviews, a lot of companies just send over the leases and have the tenants sign it. We like to review it with them. We don't do that in person anymore. We do it over the phone. And so it's a great opportunity to just kind of set the stage, set the expectations, ask any questions. The tenant can ask any questions they have about the lease, about how we do things. So here's Peter just kind of going through that. I'm listening in because Peter doesn't have his license just yet, so I gotta listen in. So hopefully, Peter gets his license soon, and that way I don't have to be on these calls. But for now, it's good training. And so when he does get his license, he can just hit the ground running, and I don't have to be on the calls anymore. So this is just us doing a typical lease review for a tenant.
Yeah, I did have one question. Sorry, I was
Yes.
trying to find it.
Go ahead.
On the bottom of the first page,
it says only one rent check or electronic payment will be accepted per premises each month. So does that mean that for the rent, whatever that package is, and let's say at some point if you have a pet fee or any other fees, that those all need to be combined into one payment?
Yes, that'll all be due at the first of the month. So yeah, so your rent, right now your rent and your insurance package will be together, yes.
Okay, but you'll only accept one payment, so I could send those from different accounts in separate payments.
Hi, this is Edward.
I'm trying to be clear about my understanding.
There's no limit to how many payments you make. There is a, menial $1 convenience fee for every payment you make. I mean, you're not gonna save much by combining it. So to answer your question, you do not have to make one combined payment. You can make separate payments. Whether you can set up 2 different accounts from 2 different bank accounts, I'm not quite sure on that. So
I did set up 2 right now because
if you're paying it from 2 different accounts,
I mean, not that it matters, but like I'm going to probably transfer my deposit from one account, but I'll pay my rent from a different account.
Okay.
So
so
I already did set up 2 different payment methods.
Okay, great.
Just because I have my savings at one institution and I have I have money in multiple different.
Okay.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, that's great. That's great. Definitely you could do more than one payment for sure.
Okay, I just want to be clear because it didn't sound like that, and I'm like, well, that's kind of funny, but whatever. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Awesome. All right. Well, if you need anything before the move-in, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can call, shoot me an email. Otherwise, I wish you the best of luck with your move-in.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed a little behind the scenes of what our company does to manage properties. A little bit of business development going on all the time. Always got to grow. If you don't grow as a business, you're dying because things are always attritioning with clients leaving and selling and that type of thing. So you always got to grow just to kind of maintain if you want to stay alive as a business. So you always see us doing business development. We had a good time with Maddie over the summer and now she's going. So now we got to hold our own, but that was a really good experience. And I hope you enjoyed our conversation with George too. Just if you're a seller, have that seller mindset, you're an investor and you think about selling, take those words to heart. Keeping your real estate, refinancing it, using it as a bank, that's the way to build your wealth, continue to leverage that money that you have in there. Hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you want to see some content, how we run things in the company, make sure you put that in the comments below. We could include that also in a future video as well. So don't forget to subscribe to the video, and until next time, this is your favorite homeboy signing out.